Welcome back to my running channel. I want to say it's been a long time, but it hasn't really been a long time. We've been releasing weekly videos since the Boston Marathon, but I feel like, I just haven't been on camera. We haven't been recording running videos. We haven't been doing workouts. I mean, I guess I've kind of worked my way back in, but I just need to say thank you for all the support regarding the Boston Marathon. Everything, I've already said it in the breakdown videos, I don't know, but like just the response online even, it's just been unbelievable. At the end of this video, I'm going to talk about why I had to delete one of the videos. You might already know, but yeah, you should be following me on Instagram anyway if you want to know all that. The ins and outs, this is like how I communicate with you all. Is there's no proper way to do it on YouTube. Like community posts don't just get lost in the sauce. There's no stories, none of that. So follow me on Instagram at floberg.runs. That's where you can get the lowdown on my daily training, honestly, outside of Strava and just the things that are happening day to day in regards to content on the channel. That's not what's important about this episode today. We're going to talk about the rest of my racing calendar, the rest of this year. And everyone's been asking me, Eric, what's your fall race? What's it going to be? Are you running Berlin or not? And I'll get there. But let me talk about first the Summer of Speed. Shortly after Boston Marathon, I had a phone call with my coach, Jeff Cunningham, legendary coach. He coached me through the whole Boston series and all those crazy midweek workouts that you saw on that series. And we are working together again, moving forward into the fall, into my fall racing. And he really wants to target speed this summer. He really wants to get my legs faster. He wants to get me faster at shorter distances. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, a year ago, last summer, I ran a 5,000 meter track race with the Twilight 5000 series in Chicago. And I'm going to be doing that again this year. So that's my first, actually, that's not my first announcement, but we're going to be doing a lot of speed. So he's talking about 400 meter repeats, maybe even 200 meter repeats on the track. Some really quick stuff that's not similar to marathon training because I'm going to want to be racing at that shorter distance. But first, before the Twilight 5000, that's actually the second race I want to talk about. The first race is coming up very, very soon. I don't know when we're going to release this video, but on May 18th, very soon, I'm going to be running the Brooklyn Half Marathon. So I'm going to be in New York City, and I'm going to be sending it on the half marathon distance. Is it ideal to run a half marathon a month after a peak marathon race? No. Reasons for that, you have to recover. So I did a full week of no running after the Boston Marathon, and then I have to ease myself back into mileage, which means this is not a peak race. This is not, I've never run a peak half marathon race, and this is not that either, but it's just supposed to be fun. Like I just want to send it at this distance. I love the half marathon distance. I still have tons of fitness from my Boston build that I'm carrying into this. Maybe it's not ideal for a half marathon race. It's, like I said, it's not peak, but I'm carrying all of that fitness over and I'm doing a few speed workouts leading into this where hopefully I'll still be able to turn over a good time. And my goal for it is to just really get a PR. My PR is from last fall in September, a 1:15:57. I'm going to be happy with anything under 1:15. If it says 1:14 and change, I'm going to be really stoked about that. I'll still be happy if I just walk away with a PR, anything under 1:15:57, but I would really love to be in the 1:14s, maybe even the 1:13s. We'll see how it goes. I'll start out conservative, tighten the screws as I go. So that's the first race that I'll be doing very soon. And then, as I already mentioned, the Twilight 5000 is the second race I'll be doing, and that is at Montrose Track on July 12th in the summer in Chicago. It's going to be amazing, and my target goal for that race is going to be under 16 minutes in the 5K, in the 5,000 meters. Faster on the track. It's not a road race, so I have that going for me. Last summer, I ran it in 16:33. I would love to be able to crack that 16-minute barrier, and I think I'll be able to do it, especially with the help of Jeff and all the speed work that we'll be doing through the summer, which we haven't decided if we're going to do a series on that, the Summer of Speed. But I'll be faster, and that will be more of a peak style race because I'll be able to put in 2 months of training leading up to that race, which is pretty exciting actually. So then the third race, which is a big old maybe, you might, if you've been watching the channel for a year, you might see some consistencies here. I might sign up again for the Big 10 10K, which is not a great course. If you saw my race video last year, it's really windy and like on the Lakeshore path, and it's in the middle of July as well, which I haven't even looked at the date, so maybe I won't run it. I really would love to still race the 10K distance sometime this summer, or maybe in the fall. Maybe it's another 10K that's a tune-up leading to my fall race. But if I do, I'll want to crack the 34-minute barrier in the 10K, which is really intimidating right now because I think it's like 5:28 mile pace. Running that for 6.2 miles sounds just absolutely horrifying. So maybe I will, maybe I won't, but definitely the fourth one, just signed up for it today. The same half marathon I did last summer, September, the Hidden Gem half. It was an incredible race last year. I had so much fun on that course. Great energy, great competition. With that 1:15:57, I think I got like 27th place. So there's still plenty of speed in that race. And with my new target of hopefully under 112 in September, I could maybe crack top 15 in that race. Should be really special. There's literal elites in the top of the field in that race, which is exciting. It's just fast and really cool. All the Chicago fast people. So that's definitely happening again. And that is a month away from the Chicago Marathon, which is what I'm running. Because if you thought about like the timing, I wouldn't be running Hidden Gem if I was going to run Berlin. I thought about running Berlin and the amount of work that would be necessary to do that, the amount of travel, the amount of expenses. I'm not ready to do that yet because I would have had to partner with, I think Berlin Track Club is who I was looking to do it with. No shade on them. It was just, that was really the only strong lead I had to get into the race. I would have to be making content and that kind of stuff. And outside with all the things that I'm doing between our documentary, this running channel, my main YouTube channel, client facing work, it just felt like since I already have a bib to Chicago, I know the course so well, this will be the 6th time I'm racing it. I really want to send it at Chicago again. Now the risk to that is that weather can be iffy in Chicago. So we'll hope that it's the same weather as last year and it's perfect temps and like a nice sunny day or like partly cloudy day, and we send it, because the goal isn't formal yet, but as we alluded to at the end of Boston, I'm going to be wanting to get to as close to 2:30 as possible. And so we don't know what that series is going to be titled yet. I don't know if I'll even ever do a definitive time goal, because really the way I'm thinking now is like we call that series Chicago 2:30, and the whole idea is me just trying to get to as close to 2:30 as possible. I feel like that's going to put me in a really good headspace, especially if we do have a really bad weather day like we did. And it wasn't really bad in Boston, but it was really warm. So if we have another day like that, I won't be so upset about like breaking 2:30 or 2:32 and still getting, like say at 2:34 and still getting a PR of over 4 minutes. I want to be happy about that. I want to be emotionally excited, psychologically excited about that. But all we can do is just train really, really hard all summer long. If I can snag a sub 112 half in the fall, in September, or even sub 113, I'll be in really good shape to go low 230s, if not breaking it. So that's the aim. That's the goal right now. And the final announcement and the caveat is, if we look at the calendar that week, Chicago Marathon, and see that the weather is just horrific, it's going to be way too hot, it's going to be thunderstorming, it's going to be whatever, I want to put Indy Monumental, Indianapolis Marathon in my back pocket as a backup race. If that's the case, talked with Coach Jeff that if the weather's horrible in Chicago, we can keep that as a plan B. I can use Chicago as a long run effort, depending on how he would want me to run that. And then I could send it at Indy Monumental to try to get that new fall marathon PR. As you get older and as you have less and less attempts at a PR, not saying I'm like super old in the marathon game by any means yet, but I'll be 33 this fall. It's like you can start counting on two hands the amount of attempts you have left if you're doing a proper 3 to 4 month build and racing peak races. So I want to be really careful about, hedging my bets when I'm doing these massive training blocks, especially with, a full-time creative career and a family with 4 kids and a wife. And, it's like you just want to make sure you have a good shot at doing those things. And as I move into, honestly, if I crack sub 230, we're talking like nearing the sub elite field, like getting into races potentially and being able to line up behind the pros. That's a possibility for my future, and I still am trying to search for what that ceiling is. So I'm hopeful that I can keep progressing towards that. And really at the end of the day, like, be Ken Rideout, like be running marathons at the age of 52 and still sending it sub 2:30. It'd be pretty sick. So yeah, those are the plans for racing. Wanted to make sure y'all knew it. Wanted to publicly announce all that because I hate keeping it all secret. Now that I have to like keep it a secret because of the running personality online, like an idiot. And so that's all of it. And that's my plans right now. They could change. You'll be along for the ride, but we're definitely documenting all of it as it goes down. It's going to be a really, really, really fun summer, really fun fall. I'm already just getting visions of all the nostalgia that's going to be pumping through my veins, especially running all the same races. That gets me fired up. And especially like all of them being on my home turf outside of Brooklyn Half. So just staying local, staying close to family, getting a ton of family time in this summer. I rigged up my electric bike with the kid carriage in the back for my wife to drive, which was incredible. And I went on a run with the whole family this past weekend. So that was super exciting and super fun and something we want to start doing like every weekend. But before I end this video, I want to just give clarification about what happened with my Boston Marathon content at large. So the BAA found me, the Boston Athletic Association. We know that they can be sticklers for content about their marathon and their course. And so this isn't me trying to badmouth them or anything. This is me just speaking to the realities of what happened with this. So after 3 weeks of posting my marathon race video, I woke up to a message from Ben Parks, actually. And he said, hey, did your Boston video get flagged? And copyright struck. I'm like, I don't know. And he said, I've already deleted mine. It said that I would get a channel strike, which if you didn't know on YouTube, if you get 3 channel strikes, you actually get your whole YouTube channel removed from the platform. So I woke up to that. It was the first message I read that morning. And I looked at my YouTube studio and I found that 2 of my Boston videos were flagged in that same way. And it said if I did not delete the video within 7 days, it would be deleted no matter what. And if I chose not to manually delete it in that time frame before the 7 days were up, I would get a channel strike for each video. So had I done nothing at all and let that run its course, I would have gotten 2 YouTube channel strikes, which means only 1 more and this YouTube channel would be deleted then. So obviously tons of cause for concern. I waited on it and I emailed the BAA. And I got a representative to explain what was happening. And the reality is, under their rules, is any footage that is filmed within their course. So while you're racing inside of the course, if any of that is used for commercial purposes, commercial use, meaning tied to making any kind of money, that is not allowed. And so I don't know really how it happened, but they were able to contact YouTube and give me that warning. And so through YouTube, not separately. So I talked to that representative. We discussed how we could move forward to trying to keep these videos online. And he said, as long as I turned off monetization on these videos and removed any kind of links to monetization in the description, they could stay live. Since my Boston Marathon breakdown video was a sponsored video where I talked about that sponsor within the video, I did need to delete that. So I deleted that today. So we still have the race video and the entire Boston Marathon experience as of the time I'm recording this. And so I hope those can stay up without monetization and you guys can still enjoy those indefinitely in the future. My plan is to do a more generic race breakdown style video that talks about how to properly carb load leading up to a race and how to fuel inside of a race. So I'm hoping to make that this summer or this fall, and hopefully that can be a tool and a resource to so many of you who are training, doing your first marathons, or wanting to up your game in fueling and getting the next advantages for yourself in your own PRs. But I wanted to make sure all of that was super crystal clear. Maybe even if you're thinking about making some sort of race video at Boston, to just keep an eye out for that for future reference. If I make a video and have any course footage inside of the race, I know I'm going to need to demonetize it if I want it to be associated with any kind of monetization on this platform. The reality is this is half of my business now, like running this channel. So it was unfortunate to know that we couldn't make money in that way, but those are their rules. I did sign that contract as a runner. And so I will take ownership over that and do what's right according to their rules. Doesn't mean I have to agree with them. Doesn't mean you guys have to agree with them. So the reality is I want to stay positive regarding this. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to like sulk over it. It is what it is. We're moving forward. And honestly, it's just getting me really excited about moving on to the next thing and training super hard this summer. I want to train in the heat. I want to work extremely hard. I want to get faster at shorter distances, and I want to race my tail off in the fall. I'm so excited to hit the ground in Chicago again and experience all the joy of that race. And I don't want anything like this to get me down. So it's not, and I'm sorry to anybody else who it affected, business, personal, anything else like that. But yeah, if there's any way you guys want to support the channel, on this video, we have links in the description about how you can support the channel and always how you can support the channel financially. So I can pay Cyrus his salary for making all this content and helping with it and producing it, and providing for my family as I produce it as well. It's not just a hobby anymore. It's definitely part of my business. So I always appreciate your support and how you all have been helping with the channel. But there's always links in the description to show how you can support us and the stuff that we do here if you've benefited from it at all. No hard sell or anything like that, as my friends at This Messy Happy say. But just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you, how much this channel means to me, and how horrifying it was to know that it could be taken away. I don't want that at all. Honestly, just for selfish reasons. That is just this insane nostalgic time capsule for me and my video journal of what's happening in my life and running at this beautiful time in my life. So love you all. Thank you so much for listening to what I have planned for the future in the summer and fall. And I hope you're excited about it. And I hope you're excited to watch all the videos coming soon. So we'll see you soon.